So I would like to invite you to rethink your intentions, folks. I would like you to think instead in terms of not what do we do to scale, but what do we do to descale? Because if you are big, if your organization is large, then most likely the knee-jerk reaction, the most natural, intention would be, what do we do to scale up? Because we're big, we must be big, so we need to have big scaling solutions. Don't think of it that way. Consider descaling. Consider removing organizational waste layers. What's called muda in Japanese, muda, mud in English. And there could be some alternatives. So you have to first understand, in order for you to actually perceive this as, as one of the options, you really have to understand that organizational structure is the very important thing. It's the first order factor that defines agility, ecosystemic agility. Everything else follows. It almost matters not what you call this, mindset, behaviors, norms. We see some less educated, less experienced coaches focusing on processes and tooling. It almost matters not if you haven't addressed the big tickets. So organizational design is the first order factor. Everything else will follow. So of course we can, build culture around an organizational structure, but not the other way around. Like 20 of us or 25 of us, if we come all from different cultures, and this is all great, we can find great commonalities. We can get along well. We fit each other. But if we're put in the same org structure that is very orthodox, very traditional, very complex, we may start acting towards each other in a very different way. Maybe in a hostile way, in a jealous way, in an antagonistic way of some sort, because org structure, including HR norms and policies, will dictate what we are like. So agility, systemic agility, organizational agility is not going to be as, definitely not as complete without all of those big things. And this is actually a snippet taken from the someone I personally respect a lot. He's my personal mentor for many years. The co-creators of Large Scale Scrum are one of the most influential folks in the last decade plus, Craig Larman. So this is really a quote from him. Really cannot achieve organizational agility when you look only at technology, like R&D alone. It's super important, but you can't just consider that alone as the pivot. You got to look at legal practices, product management, HR norms and policies. Absolutely. If you do not look at HR, if you don't challenge the way they operate today, you will be handicapped for good. They can make it. They can help you a lot, or they can break it. And today, majority of HR people are not educated enough. They do same exact old legacy stuff. In the individual performance appraisal, bonuses, promotions, stack ranking, all of this is actually very toxic to organizations. And it's really disservicing agility and puts a lot of pressure on teams and individuals that want to be more adaptive and mutually supportive. It's outdated by 40, 50 years. Science and business are so far apart. What we know from science and research and what many companies still do today, there's a big gap.